Good evening, and welcome to Newsfeed. Today is Thursday, February 8th. I'm Jerry Gusenberg.
And I'm Sophia Kolozinski. We're excited to have you here watching with us tonight. Let's see what's happening in Ann Arbor. The Pan-Hellenic peer educators at the University of Michigan hosted the third annual Pan-Hellenic Speak Out on Tuesday night. The Speak Out provides a forum for survivors of sexual violence to share their stories. The space is completely confidential, and attendees were welcome to read poems, discuss their experiences, and speak for their friends who were unable to. The event was very moving in the wake of the #MeToo movement and continues to expose the very intense experiences of students involved in Michigan Greek life.
This Monday night, former Vice President Joe Biden spoke at the sold-out Michigan Theater Monday night. Biden was in Ann Arbor as a part of his American Promise tour to promote his new memoir. Coach Harbaugh introduced Biden, and he discussed their mutual support for cancer charities, such as the Chad Tuff Foundation and Biden's consistent advocacy for legislation about cancer research. Throughout his speech, Biden talked extensively about his time in the White House alongside President Barack Obama, as well as personal and political matters. In Biden's words, the purpose of his memoir was, quote, not just to leave a legacy, but to give hope to families suffering from cancer, end quote.
This week, the Music Matters Club announced that they would be bringing Louis the Child as the headlining performer for Springfest 2018. Springfest is split into two parts, a daytime festival and a nighttime concert. The daytime event is, quote, created to bring the entire UMich and surrounding community together by providing a central platform from which we can showcase the best of local community, culture, and innovation. Springfest is described as a day that brings together student and community culture to showcase the best in art, music, food, social change, and more in the area. Each year, Springfest is capped off with a headlining nighttime musical performance, this year featuring Louis the Child. The event will be held April 4th. Tickets for the show go on sale this Thursday, the 8th of February. Now let's check out the Student Silent Film Festival that took place in Ann Arbor last weekend.
Hi, I'm Lauren Guido, here with Newsfeed outside of the Keene Theater for the Stamp Nation Student Silent Film Festival.
So the event today, we had student composers write their own scores for old silent movies. And so it's taking the original films, but with the new student soundtracks, it is kind of putting a modern twist on some of these older films.
I always thought of composition as like capturing the spirit of something, or capturing an experience through someone and through sound.
So our first one was Joseph Clementi.
Hi.
Majoring in engineering.
Computer science.
He's a junior in computer science. So Stamp Nation, as I told you, is a music student organization dedicated to creating a so-called music house, which is a space on campus, an envisioned space on campus for musicians or performing artists, or honestly anyone. We called it a CCRB for music. Today was supposed to be the student event where we screened silent films with new compositions with student composers, but what happened was we could not get a stagehand for the Keene Theater to open up the Keene Theater and run the projector.
This is why we need Music House.
Yes.
I think it went as well as it could without anyone helping us, so yeah.
Support your local artists and don't go to business school.
Yes.
Thank you.
Reporting for Newsfeed from the Keene Theater, I'm Lauren Guido.
Thanks, Lauren, for showing us that event. Now let's get into national news. This past Wednesday, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi spoke for more than 8 hours on the House floor supporting Democrats' attempt to legalize the status of young immigrants, referred to as Dreamers. Finishing up her speech shortly after 6 p.m., Pelosi began by saying that she would lead opposition to a broad 2-year budget agreement, which includes several Democratic priorities, but fails to address the legal status of those protected by DACA, which expires next month. According to the Washington Post, at 7:45 this morning, Pelosi called her aides to find stories from Dreamers in order to support her argument. Her team ultimately collected hundreds of stories that she later presented on the floor. Her filibuster-style speech has found support and opposition from both sides of the aisle.
White House Staff Secretary Rob Porter resigned on Wednesday morning amid allegations of abuse from his two ex-wives. Porter was a top aide to President Donald Trump, and he resigned over the objections of White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, as well as others. In his resignation statement, Porter denied the allegations, calling them, quote, outrageous and false. The allegations were first reported by the Daily Mail earlier this week.
This week, American markets saw volatility as the Dow Jones Industrial Index plunged 1,175 points, the worst point decline in history. These lows rippled around the globe, affecting markets internationally. Traders and investors expressed concern, but the Dow seems to have recuperated back to normal. Despite the tremendous point decline, the percentage decline is nowhere near close to the destruction on Black Monday in 1987 or the 2008 financial crisis. Despite President Donald Trump often taking credit for market highs and placing blame on market lows, the stock market is rarely linked to U.S. politics. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with some international news.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Oh my gosh, we only have a minute to get to class.
What? Well, alright, I need to go get some water from the vending machine.
I'm gonna be eco-friendly and fill up my water bottle.
Well, I guess I'll see you in class.
Alright. So fresh.
Ah, come on, I just need to get to class.
Welcome back to Newsfeed. Now it's time for international news. Former Pope Benedict XVI said in the Italian newspaper Corriere della Sera that he is on a, quote, pilgrimage towards home. The 90-year-old wrote that his body is becoming weak and he must therefore go home. And he added that he is very thankful for him to be, quote, surrounded on this last part of the road, sometimes a bit tiring, by such love and goodness that he could never have imagined, end quote. Pope Benedict has been living in the Vatican since resigning as Pope in 2013.
The Eiffel Tower was closed Tuesday and Wednesday as 6 inches of snow fell on Monday night and temperatures fell to -10 degrees Celsius. The rest of France is not doing too well either, as Tuesday evening saw more than 430 miles of traffic jams, with 100 French drivers forced to spend the night in their cars. 28 regions are on a code orange alert due to the dangerous weather conditions and ice on roads. Emergency accommodation space has opened for homeless people. Heavy snow is unusual in Paris, as a dusting of snow is normally the most Paris receives. There are 2,500 policemen, fighter fighters, and other staff members trying to get things back to normal as soon as possible in this strange situation.
The Holocaust is a bloody stain on human history. Through persistent education, Westerners hope that this atrocity will never be repeated again. Polish President Andrzej Duda has challenged this mission. On Tuesday, President Duda signed a bill that bans accusations of Polish involvement with the Nazis in World War II. In particular, Duda orders that Polish concentration camps are no longer called death camps. Poland contains 6 concentration camps, including the infamous Auschwitz extermination camp, where more than 1 million individuals died. Objectors to this bill consider it a suppression of freedom of speech and are fearful that this may halt Holocaust-related academic research. Political leaders of both the United States and Israel have been prominent international objectors of this bill. Yad Vashem, a major organization committed to Holocaust remembrance, have called the signing of this bill unfortunate. Only time will tell of the greater implications President Duda's legislative action will have on the discourse of Holocaust history.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight. I'm Jerry Gusenberg.
And I'm Sophia Kolodzinski.
And you've just been Newsfed.